Hello everybody, it's Jude the Exceptional Gamer here, bringing you another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombie storyline video. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about the Chaos Crew and just the story so far, because I feel like the Ether storyline has been getting all the attention. Let's show the Chaos Crew some love. I was planning on making this video yesterday, but I did get fixed braces and they really hurt and they suck, so they definitely don't hurt as bad compared to yesterday, so I'll be able to do this video now. Today I'm just going to be covering the general storyline and what we have so far, so if you're watching this when like DLC 4's out, do not complain. I'm going to be doing up-to-date videos on this. So right now the only maps that are out are Voyage and 9, aka IX, so we're going to be going off of them two maps, and especially now that Easter egg sold, we have way more juicy information to put in this video. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. I'm going to start this off by just describing the characters, like reading out their description, so even if you know them but you don't know like them exactly and what their personality is like, this will definitely fill you in, and same to people who don't know the characters at all, this will once again just fill you in. Diego. He's a dazzling spy and a master of seduction, but pray you don't end up in his sights. Diego Necalli is a ruthless cutthroat, and no clue escapes his keen sense of observation. Next up we have the group leader, I would say, and kind of the main character of this and how the whole story really stemmed. We have Scarlet. So Scarlet, despite resenting her father and his tireless sense of myth and legend, the tech-minded Scarlet Rhodes will stop at nothing to find him when he disappears. All of her rational convictions will be tested on this quest as she witnesses things that science cannot explain. Scarlet is basically really intelligent and seems to know what she's doing compared to the rest of the crew. Like, she's kind of the one putting out the orders, like on the Voyage of Despair map. She's the one who is organising the heist that they do to recover the artifact. Next up we have Shaw. If you have the cash, Master Chemist Stanton Shaw has whatever mystical brew he can think of, and he's tried them all, multiple times, so his grasp on reality is loose at best. Now that an old friend has gone missing under strange circumstances, his warped psyche may be the perfect asset. Shaw is essentially the one who is behind the elixirs that are basically the replacement for gobblegums, and he is the most experienced when it comes to the zombies and all these kind of weird vapors that they inhale. And finally we have Bruno. He turned from a life of violence, but striking blows is what Bruno Delcroix does best. His savage reputation precedes him, but the only reason he's back is to help the one person who gave him a chance at redemption when no one else would. Now that you have a brief idea of these characters, maybe except for Diego, the reason I didn't say anything about Diego is because there's not a lot to say about him yet compared to the rest of the characters. He's probably the least developed at the moment. Let's move on to the general setup of the story. So Scarlet's father is missing, and as a child her father told her stories, which are most likely about the cult and the gods, which are the statues that have the perks, and maybe even the magic that caused the zombies, and maybe just the zombies themselves. Since Scarlet was a child, she believed them, but now as an adult and she looks back on all of this, she doesn't know whether what he's on about is true or not, considering there's starting to be a lot of evidence that points towards his stories being more than just fantasy. Scarlet hasn't saw her father for 15 years, so the general premise of the story is her finding her dad. Scarlet's father has actually helped the other characters in some way, and they all want to join Scarlet to help find him and to save him. So that is the main plot kind of laid on the table there. Now let's delve into both Voyage of Despair and 9, and we'll talk about the ending cutscenes and what they tell us. In Voyage, they went to retrieve the artifact to keep it safe, and an occultist on the ship interrupted their plan. He caused a zombie outbreak using the dark magic that the artifact withholds, and by the end of the Easter egg, our characters end up stopping the outbreak and reverting the passengers back to normal and escape the Titanic as it sinks. Whilst the characters are talking, Bruno is very disengaged with the others' conversation, and we see a red mark, it's like a red line kind of on his forehead, but he covers it up with the lantern he's holding, and then the cutscene just ends. So on that cutscene, Bruno looks like a very angry boy, alright? When that red mark is there, he looks like a very evil lad, okay? And that kind of says to us that with the red mark showing and his face just looking very aggressive and evil and cunning, I think that kind of just tells us that he is up to something. There's going to be some kind of betrayal on one of the maps. But the thing we're unsure of right now is, did him being on Voyage of Despair when them events took place, did that cause that red mark to be there? Or was that there before Voyage of Despair? This is a question that I think will be answered before this game ends with its DLCs for the Chaos Crew. And if it is not answered by this game, I will be very surprised. So Voyage of Despair, it is very safe to say that this map comes before 9, and not historically, obviously. I'm on about in the actual order that it happened, because if we were looking at it historically, then yes, 9 did happen before the Titanic sank. But in this case, because that's only the vapours that they're inhaling to get to this place, this did not happen before Voyage. We're going to say that Voyage happened before 9. Now, assuming in storytelling and theorising is pretty risky, but I think we're going to have to do it because it's the best way to really kind of piece this together. So at the end of the Voyage of the Despair cutscene, they're all like, you know, rowing away. That maybe, and this is where we're assuming here, we're going to assume that maybe they are sailing to the temple that we see in the beginning of that 9 cutscene that they're sat at, and they're about to inhale the vapours and stuff, and that's how they get to that map. Once our 4 characters arrive at the 9 temple, that is where our story for 9 begins. So I'm sure we've all saw that at the beginning of the cutscene for 9, they end up kind of inhaling the vapours, and, you know, Shaw's like kind of pulling them faces like, oh, here we go, you know. Shaw is very excited, and they all kind of seem to be doing it like it's not a big deal, so they seem pretty confident in what they're doing. We have the voices kind of whispering, you know, no, these are for no mortal man, and things like that. And when Diego inhales the vapours, his eyes are brown in the temple, and then when they actually arrive at 9, his eyes are blue, and this kind of shows that they are kind of in the bodies of their ancestors, or if not ancestors, just random people in this time. It's just the reason they look the same as the characters is just so, you know, you can actually tell who is who. I'm honestly not sure the real reason as to why they are in 9. I think it's because they want to change the events of history in this particular moment and maybe try and retrieve that artifact, which, by the way, I'm referring to the one that the guy in the golden mask is, you know, always carrying with him. I've done some research and I really can't find any reason as to why they're actually here, so that is my best guess. If, however, any of you do know the actual reason, please let me know it in the comments. The Easter egg quest ends with our 4 characters defeating the 9 champions, which are them like elephants and all of that stuff, and we get a very strange and unpredictable ending. Our characters get beheaded and, you know, just executed, and this is a really weird ending. Scarlet says some kind of Latin, by the sounds of it, to this guy in the golden mask. I really don't know his name at all, so, and she like spits in his face, and then the plead for mercy gets rejected and they end up dying, which is obviously what we see. But when Scarlet says that to the guy in the golden mask, he's like, you should not know such information, and maybe that is one reason why they are killed. But either way, I think this just kind of shows that their mission is just failed. They didn't do what they were meant to, unless they secretly did, and it's very confusing, and I don't know which one to believe. I don't know if that was meant to happen or not. Looking back on that cutscene, there is something very strange that, you know, just to take as some food for thought here. as the characters are getting set up for the actual execution and to be beheaded, we actually hear Shaw be like, "Oh, are we gonna die?" And then we kind of hear Bruno in a very ominous and kind of calm and satisfied tone. He's kind of like, "Oui." And if you don't know, "oui" in French means yes. So essentially he's going yes, like he wants it to happen. Now, is the reason we failed because of Bruno? Did he want this to happen, and did he know it was going to happen? Either way, I can definitely confirm one thing. I highly doubt that these characters are dead. Obviously this isn't them, so once they die they'll just wake back up and that will be it. They'll have to take the vapors again to go back into the map, and you get the point. Another interesting thing is that Scarlet does not tell these characters some things that they probably should have known. Now, this is supported by the fact that they seem very surprised when they are actually going to get executed. You know, Diego's kind of saying, "What are you talking about, Scarlet?" And Shaw's like, "Are we actually going to die?" And so the question is Scarlet going to keeping secrets from these guys? And is it going to cause tension and feud between the crew? And I think probably the most important part of the whole cutscene is when the guy in the golden mask, there's like this kind of portal that opens up and he goes to put his hand through it and it rejects him. And I don't know if it happens with everyone, but clearly it does not like this guy, okay? The portal's like, "Nope, you can absolutely do one. You are not entering this portal." And it kind of burns him and it reacts to his kind of mark and his mask. It's very strange, and to me this kind of signifies he's trying to go somewhere or do something that he shouldn't be. And clearly the portal is protected by some kind of magic that is working with the characters and is on their side. Now, if you're wondering why there's not been a lot of answers to these cutscenes, it's probably because these are the first two maps we have with the Chaos Crew, and for that it needs to set up a story. We're gonna need questions that we want to answer, and these two Easter egg cutscenes really hit the nail on the head when it comes down to that aspect. Well, there you go guys, you are now all caught up on the zombies storyline for the Chaos Crew. I could have done these in separate videos, but I thought I'd just kind of do it all in one, and I feel like it would be a lot easier to digest that way if you just kind of sit down and listen to this all in one. It's about like, what, 10 minutes that took. If there are some things I got wrong, then please correct me down in the comments. Don't be a dick about it. I just want to have a nice discussion and we can have some fun. I know I got some good discussion on my ranking every zombie specialist weapon. Go check that video out. That one seemed to blow up quite a bit, you know. It's got like 900 odd views right now and my videos get about like 10. I've got plenty of other videos planned and I'm trying to get them out as fast as I can. But anyways guys, I'm gonna leave this video here today. If you enjoyed, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe for more. Make sure to turn the notification bell on. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time.